Warning. The opinions, ideas, views, emotions, and temper tantrums expressed or otherwise conveyed on the Tony and Josh Show may not and most likely is not suitable for all audiences and therefore should not be heard by anyone unless supervised by an appropriate nanny state. Enjoy!
Well, I was trying to think of a way to start this. I'll just start it this way by saying I'm trying to think of something. Hey, this is episode 92. If you're new to the Tony and Josh Show, we're here to inform, entertain, and give you a laugh or two. We've searched the interwebs and found these earth-shaking stories to bring to you tonight.
People get all sorts of things stuck in all sorts of places.
Oh, God.
We'll find out what happened to this poor SOB later in the show. And it's so official. Computers are now smart as rats, or maybe it's rats or smart as computers. Either way, you should be scared. Holidays are under attack, and I swear we are the only ones who actually care. Flying the red, white, and blue may get you some time behind the bars. And speaking of civil liberties being violated, I just may go on a rant if we have some time later in the show.
Goody. But first, we want you guys to give us a call using our SpeakPipe feature on our website at TonyandJosh.com. Tweet us during the show at Tony and Josh Show. And don't forget to include us in your other tweets with hashtag Tony and Josh. Easy for me to say.
That's right, guys. Yeah, all you have to do is head over to TonyandJosh.com. You can find a little microphone there on the right side of the page. And that's a great way for you guys to get in contact with us. So, hey, speaking of voicemails, we got a couple to share with you guys tonight.
Yes, we do. We got this first one from Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G, and I want to talk about what you said last week about texting and driving, how it shouldn't be a law. And I agree with you on that. It's a common sense issue. If I can handle texting and driving, I should be allowed to do that. But, if you can't handle it, then you shouldn't do it. And if you cause an accident, then you pay for it. The government shouldn't meddle in it, no matter, what their good intentions are. But, on a similar note, when my kids first got their driver's license, I took the faceplate off the radio.
Good call.
Not because I was worried about them driving distracted. I was just a mean SOB. You guys are talking about scientists discovered a watery discharge on Mars. Yeah, that's just because it was orbiting too close to Uranus.
Oh.
And who didn't see that one coming?
Double pun.
All right, guys, I'll chat you later. And you have a good one. Bye.
So
the man is an expert. He expert level. Seriously, much credit goes to Nikki G.
Lots of spare time in the plane as it's waiting to be taxied across the tarmac. Talking about the law about texting and driving.
Yeah.
A great philosopher, Clint Eastwood, once said in the movie, "A man should know his limitations." So if you guys were anticipating a great Clint Eastwood impersonation, you haven't listened to this show before.
Now, this kind of falls into something that I've complained about a few times. That we should be certain people should be allowed to do certain things on the road, and you should have to go through a certification process to get a little sticker on your windshield and one on your license plate or something like that allows you to go 25 miles over the speed limit if you so wish, or text and drive if you are so competent to be able to do so, or any number of things that you might do in traffic that some people would consider against the law and others consider normal routine traffic maneuvers.
Seatbelts. You may be the type of individual that is very bouncy and would survive the crash better if you were thrown from
right.
I actually remember talking to some uncle or friend or something that said, "I don't like seatbelts because you're trapped in the car. It'll get you killed. It's better if you get thrown from the car and then you're away from the wreck."
Oh yeah.
I agree with you there, Unc, but it's that slowing down process. It's that massive deceleration that'll get you.
Yeah, especially at freeway speeds. Just, free of the car, free at last, and here comes the cement.
But I understand the thought process. I mean, without a lot of thought there, it does make sense.
Well, I'll take a dash to the face any time before I take a curb.
Yeah. So, we call that the Gary Busey. So, let's get over to our next Nikki G.
Hey, this is Nikki G. I just want to say I work for an airline. And so we merge and get bought and sold, and airlines go out of business without a moment's notice all the time.
Oh, good. He's talking about the airline.
I think I'm on my
sold.
fifth airline. The airline I started with, just about every airline. I started with an airline, and it went out of business, and then or merged in with another one. And they go out of business. So I see a trend that every airline I work for soon goes out of business.
He's got the Midas touch.
That being said, I still have more job security than any cast member on The Walking Dead. Seems like at any moment they could just kill anybody off. Yeah. That has got to be the most agreeable crew to work with, because they know if they just tick somebody off, boom, they're just eaten by a zombie. All right, gentlemen, I'll chat you later. You have a good one. Bye.
Yeah, Nikki G raises some good points there. And we will be getting into a little bit of a bonus episode later on after the show. You guys can look for extra downloads over at TonyandJosh.com, where Tony and I will recap AMC's Walking Dead scene by scene.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. Josh and I have a lot of fun talking about The Walking Dead, and I may have mentioned it last time. I think it's, for me personally, it's more fun to talk about it than it is watch it. Although this last episode was enjoyable. I caught myself laughing and going, yeah!
Yeah,
on a couple of occasions.
We'll get into that later on. Hey guys, in the meantime, Tony's got some information on how you guys can help us out by sending us a review.
I do? Oh, there it is. Yeah, we love reviews. We love the iTunes reviews. We love the Stitcher reviews. We love it when you call our moms and just tell them how great we are. And they love it too. But we got this one in from Castor Crick. Where do people come up with these names? So this is by Shane, a.k.a. Castor Rick. We got it here on October the 16th, so relatively recently. 5-star rating, short and simple. Love the show, guys. Keep up the good work. Glad to hear it, and we certainly will.
Certainly will.
Sweetly.
And something else that keeps up relentlessly is noteworthy news. And every week we go ahead and just spout off some noteworthy news for you guys. So we'll get through this and get on to the good stuff, as it were.
I like noteworthy news.
What's that, Tony?
I like noteworthy news.
Yeah, I do too. It's some of it's really fun, and some of it gives us a good cross section of the rest of those people out there.
Now, see, I mentioned this about Randy Quaid. I didn't know what was going on with it. This is interesting. So go.
Because Randy Quaid was in the news recently, but for different reasons, and I think because of him and everything else, sort of he's like a star. Things just kind of a black hole. Things just kind of get sucked into his aura and stuff. Anyway, his wife, who was in jail for some things, was involved in a jail fight and had large amounts of feces tossed into her cell. Very, very interesting. Joe Biden tosses himself out of the race for president. I'm going to toss myself off a cliff if I have to hear one more thing about the Kardashians.
Amen.
It took 1,000 years, but Back to the Future Day is finally here. And for those of you down in Southern California, Fresh and Easy is down and out. YouTube now has a pay service. You guys can check that out. And somebody is paying Chris Rock a lot of money to host the Oscars once again. It's been 11 years since he came back, and ratings had never been better since he was on the show. Something, and something or other. I don't know. Big asteroid's going to hit Earth on Halloween. Yada yada. We're all going to die. Blah blah blah.
300,000 miles. That's just 50,000 miles further than the moon is away from us. That is close. Very close.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking for something right here. You mentioned the Back to the Future thing, and I don't know if you saw this story or not. Not on our show notes, and I was just really, really shocked about what happened, especially on this day. Still searching for it. Like I said, not in our notes, and it was just something that happened here that I read before the show. Anyway, apparently the actor. What is the Marty McFly? What's the actor's name?
Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox. Thank you. He was arrested this morning, Wednesday morning.
No way.
Yep. Apparently he was arrested for illegally betting on one of these gaming sites, the football gaming sites, that's been in the news because they've been doing some insider trading.
Huh.
You didn't hear about this?
No.
I couldn't believe the timeliness of this, and I wouldn't think they would try to arrest this guy on the date of.
This is his day, basically.
Yeah. So, okay, I found it. Breaking news: Michael J. Fox arrested for insider sports betting. Los Angeles: Michael J. Fox was arrested Wednesday morning in relation to the insider sports betting on DraftKings. Fox aroused suspicion after achieving statistically impossible perfect record on the site under the username No Chicken. Authorities found an unusual worn copy of a sports almanac which was just recently printed and which has markings cataloging winning bets Fox has placed since the late 80s. The operating theory is that the Back to the Future films were really documentaries of the original Prime timeline, said NASA astrophysicist Barry Manilow. The implications are heavy, and it is suspected we are living in an alternate 2015, as there have been no flying cars and there are only 4 Jaws movies.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was the whole premise about, taking the sports almanac and going back in time. Yeah.
Going back in time. Yeah.
There you go. So anyway, but there was a news story about this. And it was written well enough that a few people were sucked in. Not me, but a few people were sucked in.
I was going to say, something that big, you shouldn't have too hard of a time finding it. I figured that would be plastered across Google more than the Kardashians.
Something like this is such big news that even though Michael J's last name is Fox, MSNBC would be broadcasting about it. I'm sorry. That just came to mind when you mentioned it, and I thought I'd throw that in there. I thought it was really funny.
Well, hey, we want to take a moment to thank you guys for taking the time to download or at least stream our podcast and listen to Tony and I act up and talk about random things for all this time that you will never get back. No, guys, it really does mean a lot to us that you are here and listening to us each and every week. We appreciate the subscriptions. And if you could, please make sure you guys are telling a friend. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here.
We would be, but you just wouldn't know about it.
Be doing it behind closed doors. Well, we are doing it behind closed doors. Dang it.
Yes, exactly. Oh, gee whiz.
So what's this going on, Tony? I talked earlier about civil liberties being violated. I'll get to my rant later on, but this is something that kind of bugs me a little bit because, this hits home a little bit for me. I don't know about you. What's this news about Confederate flags and people getting arrested?
People with Confederate flags on trucks arrested under anti-terrorism laws. Anti-terrorism.
And Confederate flag. Those two shouldn't be in the same sentence.
What is next? Being arrested for farting on elevators? I mean, come on, because it's a weapon of mass destruction. It's a gas attack. So anyway, several pickup trucks with several large American and Confederate flags drove through a neighborhood where a black family was holding a party for their child. The drivers of the truck said they were coming back from a Respect the Flag event when the people started throwing objects at the trucks.
See, this is just a problem of mistaken identity. That's all.
Well, one is not a crime. One is. Throwing stuff at the vehicles is a crime. The partygoers say they felt unsafe. Yeah, let's kill it. Kill it.
They're coming right for us.
No, I don't think it was that. I think it was just like you see a spider, kill it. You don't think about it, just kill the damn thing. What's not in dispute is the drivers of the trucks were arrested under anti-terrorism laws. What the hell, people? I mean, there are cases of people not wanting to have the American flag shown because it intimidates people in the United States. I would like to invite anybody that's intimidated by the American flag to get the fuck out.
Yeah, I was just gonna say there's so many things wrong with that sentence. No, get out. Seriously, leave. Wow, this is unbelievable. Obviously, this is probably one of those things where the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. If they didn't arrest these 4 rednecks in a couple of pickups, this entire housing project was going to erupt.
Oh, now I see where you went there. Now, do you have any evidence this was a housing project? This could have been middle America, suburbia.
It could have,
but you're going the direction.
But I'm gonna bet my
you racist bastard.
No, and of course I am obviously taking liberties here with the assumptions, people. I don't know. The details on this are a little bit sketchy, but nonetheless, I mean, it did happen. The arrest, the arrest record is there. Mm-hmm. This is not something that should be happening.
No, of course not.
And it really, if you get that upset by somebody waving a flag, I understand time and place, but it's not like these guys were doing donuts in their front lawn flying their flags. They were just merely driving down the street.
What's the deal with people getting offended? Did you not go to high school? Did you not go to junior high? Were you not offended on a daily basis? Did you not learn to let it go? Now, I personally like the Confederate flag. I think the battle flag, I think it's a pretty flag. And for many, many years, I had no idea that a group of people, or more, actually, I guess a couple of groups of people didn't care for the flag. That it had this connotation to it. And also, I didn't know that it was actually used to incite fear and intimidation on people. I didn't know. I just thought it was a pretty flag. Red is my favorite color, and it has red, white, and blue with the stars. It's a good looking flag.
Well, hey, nobody's chomping down the gays for taking the rainbow away from everybody else. You fly a rainbow flag, and people are going to start getting offended. And oh my God, they're going to try and convert me.
I'm not gay. I just like rainbow flags and unicorns. Give me a break.
So the flag has historical meaning, and not just for a small group, for an entire country.
Yes.
So you can't erase or change history, but just because you get offended because you think that you are outraged over something that happened 300 years ago
and didn't happen to you. It didn't happen to you.
Correct.
Now, I will say this. Now, knowing that the Confederate flag upsets people, I don't like it so much that I got to fly it. I don't have, I don't need to fly it on the back of my truck or drive around to offend people. But I will draw the line at the Texas flag. Or does the state you're in have a flag, Josh? Or is it just a tree? Is it just we
just hang a
drag the trees around behind the vehicles? But if it's a Texas flag or the United States flag, I draw the line. If you're offended by that, tough noogies. Yes, I said it. Tough noogies.
You're in the wrong country then.
Exactly.
I have to say.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't blame anybody for feeling the way they feel. Feel the way you want to feel, but just
keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Keep it to yourself. I mean, getting people arrested because they're flying a flag? Come on. That's just not the right way to go. So speaking of forgive and forget, the holidays are coming up, Josh, and I don't know about you if you're ready or not, if you've bought all the fireworks necessary for the holidays.
What fireworks? The turkey's getting stuffed with something else this year. No, it's God. This has me outraged. Look, I don't get upset over much. It takes a lot to really get my panties in a bunch. Mm-hmm. But this one, it really had me twisted up pretty good. Look, Thanksgiving is long becoming now harvest celebration. We can't say Thanksgiving anymore. Christmas is simply getting turned into holiday or Festivus, if you think you're being
cute. Love Festivus.
And now those little bastards, those libtards or whatever they want to go by, I think they're doing us all a favor by imposing their ideology onto the rest of us. In all their glorious intelligence, they have decided that the very man who founded this continent back in 1492 should not have his name remembered any longer, as it is allegedly insensitive to the Native Americans. Now, I bet if you were to ask 1,000 Native Americans right now if they gave a diseased rat's ass about a Columbus Day and whether or not the name of it should be changed or not, half of them would probably laugh at you, and the other half would probably think you're insane. Yet here we are, faced with Columbus Day getting changed to, get this, Indigenous Peoples Day. Oh, it's just so effing politically correct, I think I may puke. Needless to say, I'm outraged. Offended even. I live here in the Pacific Northwest, and the history books, the largest storm of this region has ever seen, happened on, wait for it, that's right, Columbus Day. So, now because of some retarded Susie homemaker somewhere in the Midwest thinks she's obligated to embetter humanity with her feelings and ideas, well, I say no thank you. Let's leave Columbus Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, of course, Christmas, and the rest of you can simply F off. Hell, I'm upset.
Josh, when they say indigenous people, are they talking about the Indians, the American Indians, or the Neanderthal, or the dinosaurs that were preceded them? I mean, which is the indigenous people?
By just simply asking that statement the way that you did, you'd have to assume that these people are capable of cognitive thought. And it's simply not true. I don't think it's even possible. They get a twinge. there's a knee-jerk reaction and they must act. And there's no thinking. There's no rhyme or reason or logic or anything like that happens. They have two brain cells to rub together that are both half retarded, and we end up with things like Indigenous Peoples Day.
You know, is it a great thing that we came over here with nasty blankets and handed them out for free and people got sick? No, it's not a good thing.
There's tarnish to every little thing in history that happened. I get it.
All over.
Seriously, and you can't polish it simply by changing the name of something. It doesn't work that way, people.
No.
And we're doing it for the embetterment of society. We're doing it because these people are offended. I don't think they are. I haven't.
Well, they're all dead.
I haven't heard a whole lot on this from the Indian crowd.
No, we killed them all, Josh. They're not saying much because we killed them. I mean, that's just the way.
Well,
and when I say we, I'm talking about my great grandfather and grandmother, not me personally. And we don't need to pay any reparations to the Indians for knocking them off. Hey, it's an ugly past. It's going to be an ugly future. Bad things are going to happen. I mean, look at what happened in Darfur with 600 million machetes. There were no guns involved, just machetes, and there was this people killing people. It's not.
Well, we better outlaw butter knives.
It's not a good thing. People aren't necessarily good things, but we can rise to the occasion. We can watch somebody drive down the street with a for ignorant reasons with a flag that offends me and choose not to say something about it. So, it offends me seeing kids walking around with their pants down around their ankles, but I just let it go. I was a kid once and I did stupid things too. With me, it was platform shoes and super wide bell bottoms, Josh.
I can't wait to see the pictures.
There were no pictures.
Oh man, no. Okay, since I'm already in a bit of an uproar, I'm just going to go ahead and roll right into this. Look, you guys know that if you listen to the show for any length of time, you know that I'm an aggressive driver. I'm a driver by nature. I get out there and I drive. My taxes pay for the whole roads, damn it. I'm going to use them all. Right?
Exactly.
So I have a place to go, and I'm going to get there. And I'm going to get there in the amount of time that I have deemed myself necessary to travel the necessary space and time to get to where I need to go.
Nobody's going to get killed.
Nobody's going to get killed.
They may get bruised.
I may pass you. I may do it closer than you may like for me to do it.
Just to send a message.
You people have to realize that I am a far more advanced driver than you.
Exactly.
That is why I am driving the way that I am. Now, when I'm maybe a few snooze buttons too many on a particular work day and needing to bend a few laws, to make it to work on time, I should be allowed. I should have. Look at me with this sense of entitlement here. Look, you should get out of my way. You should get out of your way, out of somebody's way if they're coming up behind you pretty quick. I can't tell you how many times in the last couple of weeks that there's this gigantic gap in traffic, literally a half a mile long, and there's two cars up there that are going both 5 miles an hour under the speed limit. And I'm fuming. I'm actually literally twitching in my seat, and it's bad enough that
not in a good way.
Well, it's bad enough you get behind one of these idiots in traffic. You then have to then find yourself behind them at a stoplight, waiting to turn right. There's no traffic coming. There's no sign that says no turn on red. Yet here this retard sits. This knuckle-dragging son of a has just not on his phone. I don't even know if it was a guy or a girl, to tell you the truth. And it's just sitting there. And it's like, okay, we could go any time now. No, we're going to sit here. The entire line of traffic is sitting here because you are too effing afraid to take a damn right-hand turn. But there they sit. And when the light turns green, what do, Tony? They don't go immediately. They wait for a good full second, wait for that green to really just set in, because they're looking for a specific shade of green before they end up finally managing to lift their lazy fat foot up off the floor and press the skinny pedal on the right to finally get moving. Look, I pass people all the time. I am an aggressive driver. I pass people. I get honked at. I get flipped the finger. All sorts of things. All I got to say is start getting out of the way. If you think you have someplace to go, fine, get there. doesn't mean you're going to be the person who has to dictate how fast everybody else is going to go, because God forbid you get past and get your panties in a bunch or get upset because, oh my God, somebody's driving recklessly. Look, you want to see reckless driving, you should see me in the snow.
You had the opportunity to join the force, and then go out there and pull these people over, or pick up the phone and call and report me or Josh, but do it while you get the hell out of the way.
Tony, I know you all too well. You know what I'm talking about here. You've got a lengthy commute as well. You see plenty of traffic. You actually have videos of dash cam footage of people acting retarded in traffic. So I know you're on my side here when I'm saying and I'm ranting about these stupid people in traffic that I see all too often, who really I am fully blaming. It is these people, these few idiots on the road every day in specific points in time, which just find themselves on the super slab and cause, that's right, I said cause, as in it is their fault for rush hour traffic. If it weren't for these people, I think that we'd be able to get home after work in a reasonable period of time. But no, we have to go slow.
Well, of course we do, because they got to check that in. And I know this goes against the first thing we were talking about, but they got to check their phone. They got to text that message to Aunt Rue that, get the food ready and everything else. Some guy was digging around in his center console today when the light went green, and it's like I moved up on him a little bit, and then he takes off, and then he goes about 15 miles over the speed limit and I'm just driving normal until I catch up with him again. He's still looking in the center console, trying to find something, and he's doing it in the fast lane.
Oh, man.
It's just insane. Well, we may have an answer for this very soon, Josh, because you know what they've done? They've been able to reconstruct small portions of a rat's brain in a computer.
Soon, these will be driving our cars, and everything will be all better.
Actually, when you're talking about the people with road rage and stuff, and getting upset with you,
I'm about ready to pop right now.
You know what? But I mean, but people getting upset with you because you're passing them. You saw the thing on the news about the car, the old man that ran into the motorcycle and knocked them off the road.
Oh, somebody was telling me about that at work today, about how, and like they got some GoPro footage of the guy or something. And he said, I don't care, something along those lines. Yeah.
Because I need to go back and look at the video, but apparently they were passing on the double yellow line, and get this, it wasn't one person on a motorcycle. Not that would make it any better. But I think it makes it worse. It was two people on the motorcycle, and the passenger was a woman. Now, but call me old-fashioned, knock a guy down on a motorcycle, but don't knock a guy and a woman down on a motorcycle.
No.
I mean, he literally ran into them, swerved at them. I personally think that he probably overcorrected or overswerved, and he was just trying to scare them. I've had this done to me before in my Jeep. I just say, come on and hit me. I don't even flinch. Yeah, I don't even flinch. So again, people, if you don't like what somebody's doing, call the stinking police. If you're the police and you're off duty and you know the rules, you want to make an arrest or pull somebody over and chat with them, that's fine, do it. But don't pull, if you're not with the police force, don't think that you're going to be the enforcement agent.
Hell, I don't care if you're an off-duty police officer. If you're not in your police car, screw you. Get out of my way.
Yeah, well, that would be this footage will be used for you during the trial, Josh. I can tell.
No, wait. I think I hear the police knocking at my door.
Hello. So anyway, we were alluding to a rat brain.
So rat brain computer. Seriously, is this Terminator here? I mean,
this is pretty cool.
Skynet? What's happening here?
Well, your cheese may be in jeopardy soon. Rat brain reconstructed in a computer. So we may have politicians in the. There's a whole series of jokes.
Monkey.
Well, there's a whole series of jokes that you can go with here. Scientists have digitally recreated a slice of a juvenile's rat brain, including 31,000 brain cells of 207 different types with 37 million connections. That's million with an M. Josh is always doing the million with a B thing, which I think is just very confusing. But anyway, the project's aim was to create a rat brain and eventually a human brain inside a computer. Though
What could possibly go wrong?
Though the new simulation recreates just a tiny sliver of the rat's brain, the result seems to have captured some of the fundamental behavior of neurons and has even predicted brain behavior that hasn't been found before. The researchers reported on October 8th in the journal Cell.
The computer, after receiving the information from the sliver of rat brain, decided it really needs some peanut butter and cheese.
It's the sliver. It needed a couple of pieces of bread to go with that sliver of rat brain. The digital rat brain tissue also revealed new findings that could apply to biological systems. For instance, higher calcium levels shifted the virtual brain tissue into a sleep-like pattern, while lower levels seemed to wake up the digital brain tissue. Still, the new brain simulation is just the first draft, and to get more thorough representation of the brain, the simulation would need to include other types of brain cells, such as glia, and blood vessels as well. The virtual brain also includes direct communication between individual brain cells, but a more realistic simulation would account for neuromodulation. And I was just happy I got that one. In which free-floating brain chemicals tune the behavior of the large swaths of neurons in one go, the researchers said. Well, that's what they do. They say things. So this is really, really cool, Josh, because if you have a digital representation of the brain, obviously you can do things to that brain and don't have to worry about damaging the organism. You have a control situation. You can always reset it back to the way it was before you started monkeying with it.
This is going to open the doors for a lot of things.
It is.
Such as, like more finite, more accurate brain surgery. I think this is going to get into things like Alzheimer's, other other conditions that affect the brain, maybe even, psychological disorders, schizophrenia, things like that, the things that affect the brain in certain ways. This may start drawing the roadmap to start repairing, rebuilding, or even replacing with bionic supplements or even biobionic. I don't even. This is really cool stuff. Rat brains, computers. These things they're basically making an artificial brain. This is knocking on the door of some serious AI.
Well, there would be a problem of getting the communication right, but you could actually increase your brain by having a digital brain, and that digital brain could actually be planetary, that everybody could connect to, and you could
I
actually
tried plugging my jump drive into my ear. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't work right. I can't get it to boot.
And then you got all that brown stuff to clean off afterwards. So you got to clean your ears more often, Josh. But no, it's very exciting, especially whenever they start finding out things that they didn't anticipate, that it was doing things. I see a more insidious way of mind control.
Mind control. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Oh, we are so doomed.
Well, because if you know about the calcium thing and how those chemicals react with people's brains about making them go to sleep, well, you may start seeing it from the standpoint of we can induce this on this terrorist, and the police are able to put them to sleep and then go in and make an arrest without any damage to the individual or individuals around them.
Calcium's found in dairy products. Cheese is a dairy product. Since we are talking about rat here, cheese. Yeah, well, it makes sense because every time I eat a lot of cheese, I induce myself into a nap.
Yeah, well, it's a good nap too. Cheese is our friend. But so you can see that it's like most things. It's like any tool. A tool can be used for good or it can be used for evil, and that good or evil is often in the eyes of the beholder. So we're just going to have to hope that scientists and the people in government use the information in a way that benefits us all. And we're not just sitting here like lab rats. We can always chime in and say what we want to happen. So.
Yeah, no, really cool stuff. Anytime there's a big technological, medical, any kind of big advancement like this is big news. This is going to be pave the way for a lot of cool stuff here in the medical field here very soon. So hopefully this kind of research gets some more further funding and we can see where it goes.
And it also may mean that we'll have a much better way of storing vast amounts of data in a digital brain that that can forget things as it gets older. So I see something coming up here, Josh. I'm getting a little excited. It's another story from Dusty L. Dunn.
Yeah, this guy has helped us out a couple times in the past of getting some very interesting stories on our radar. And this one certainly was one that I couldn't ignore. So big thanks to Dusty L. Dunn for hooking us up. And hey, if you guys want to hook us up with an interesting story, you think you've got something that might fit here on the Tony and Josh show, even if not, we can spit on it and shove it in. Info@tonyandjosh.com is where you'd want to send that email to. Info@tonyandjosh.com. So the title of this was, Wait, You Got What Stuck Where?
Dusty, you sick bastard.
Oh, you sick SOB. So, look, there's no easy way to segue into this, so I'm just going to jump into it. The penis has got to be one of the strangest organisms on the planet. And yes, I'm even taking people of Walmart into consideration as their own species. But the man missile is unique and stands alone and sometimes upright in this odd category. In fact, it stands proud when very happy, and when it's scared or cold, it shrinks like a bald-headed midget in a way too big turtleneck. And it also humps stuff. All kinds of stuff. Some might even say too much stuff. Especially if you've been listening to us for any length of time. Well, things would be fine if it were just normal stuff like other people or fleshlights, but no. Some of us males have to be depraved and weird and stick our junk in nutty stuff. No, not peanut butter. Very strange stuff, people, that you should have enough common sense and self-awareness to keep your junk away from. But if that were the case, this story wouldn't exist. And we wouldn't have, quite the kind of show that we do. Okay, quick show of hands. Who here hasn't humped a vacuum? No?
Two hands, please.
All right. Well, yeah, keep them both above the table, please. It's as American as humping apple pie, allegedly. I don't know. And less prone to dangerously raising your blood sugar, I might say. While normally a tale of vacuum violation gone terribly wrong would merit getting added to the queue of all other sick and twisted stories you people insist on hearing me tell, yes, I did just blame all this on you. But this one, oh boy, this one deserves a little extra attention because it's a story that features the following exceptionally wonderful elements. A dwarf, his penis, a vacuum, glue, and the circus. I'm just going to let that delightful list stew in your mind for a moment so you all have a nice mental image to play along with at home.
I was okay until you mentioned glue.
Friday nights were always special for Arnold. He got to perform in front of a crowd every week. He considered himself fortunate to be a circus midget. It wasn't the greatest show on earth, and there were no elephants or dancing bears in this circus. Hell, Arnold Circus didn't even have a tent. But it was fun nonetheless to perform his special feat each and every week. Midgets and circuses go hand in hand, but no pun intended. But it was Arnold who put his special task in hand and then went into a vacuum that drew people in every week. That spectacle was unlike anything most people had ever seen. A stout 3'2" grown-ass man screwing the hell out of a shop vac. Yes, this little person put his willy in a vacuum on stage as part of a show. But it was on this particular occasion one night a critical piece was broken. So to fix it, he just glued it together. Smart! This guy is a regular MacGyver. Timely reference there. Of course, with the anticipation of climaxing into the suck machine soon, he wasn't concerned with such things as ambient temperature and setting or curing times. By the time he realized that, he probably should have given more time to the industrial adhesive to cure properly. It was way too late. Arnold was stuck. Halfway through the performance, too. And there was no pulling out of this one. I would like to think that he had to ride the vacuum all the way to the hospital. But of course, that would be silly. And we don't do silly here on the Tony and Josh show, do we? This is a serious show with subjects that matter, people. So, anyways. When Arnold arrived at the emergency room with a shop vac wearing a wig and lipstick firmly attached to his groin, the medical staff acted right away, as well they should, pointing and laughing and pulling out their iPhones. No, I'm kidding. Accordingly, the jaws of life aren't required for much of anything outside of a nasty car accident, but this train wreck of a good time required precision equipment and a skilled hand. But the surgeon was on call and 30 minutes away. The fire department had just dropped off a burned victim and the gear was ready to go. So, where a scalpel and a steady hand were needed, we had a rotating cutoff blades and hydraulic motors. Arnold was never heard from or seen from again. I'm guessing he didn't return to the life of a stage-performing sex circus midget, but they say on some nights in those dingy, grungy back alley theaters when the moon is full, you can still hear the whining of a vacuum motor and the grunts of a wee man giving it good to a Hoover. Tony?
I just got to think, sometimes you're just not in the mood to go on. That's a professional. That's what separates Arnold from us non-professionals. When the show is on, you must go on and perform no matter what. So that's a hell of a deal. I wonder how
Can
old.
you juggle? No. Can you do magic? No. Can you breathe fire? No. You got a really long beard? No. Well, what the hell can you do in this circus? Let me show you. God, you gotta wonder at a certain point, and I understand that little people don't exactly have all of the avenues afforded to the rest of us who aren't height challenged, and it's harder for them to probably make a living as
that's true.
So you have to turn to other things. Typically, it's theater and acting, as because really you can't really fit a role where you need a midget with anybody else but a midget. So those who can't find work in the show business in Hollywood, well, they probably turn to such acts like what Arnold did. So you can't blame the guy for trying.
I'm just amazed at his fortitude, his stamina and fortitude that he
At
could.
least he tried hard.
5 shows a day, 10 on the weekends. So I don't know about you, Josh, but I got tools here. And even if I didn't, I would send somebody out for some and take care of the situation myself long before I went to an emergency room.
Oh yeah, no. There would be lots of attempts, chemicals. I don't care what it would take. We're not calling an ambulance.
3 blondes and a hooker, anything before I would be going that direction. Well, we're going that direction.
One direction.
It's always the wrong way.
It's always going straight down the gutter. That's where this direction's going. No, we want to direct you guys to our website, TonyandJosh.com. We have our entire show archived there for your guys' listening pleasure. We've got some videos up there as well. Regular posts, guys. Make sure you subscribe to our feed. Make sure you subscribe to the Tony and Josh Show.
Oh, we love it when you subscribe. It brings out our inner dwarf. So we would love to have you people go over
right out of his shell.
Yes, we would like to
right out of that
have you people to go over to the Twitter and follow us at Tony and Josh Show. And don't forget to use that hashtag Tony and Josh Show on all your tweets, whether it be dwarf paraphernalia or not. Is dwarf a good thing to say, or do you have to say little people now?
I don't know what's politically correct anymore. I don't usually typically abide by that which is politically correct. So, yeah, that's why I say midget.
So if you were driving your truck and it was any flag, but it was a little flag, would that be offensive to dwarves? Would that be offensive to little people? Do you think that? I
One
don't,
of those restaurant
I'm
flags
being insensitive. It's also called being a man. So anyway,
hey, it's not the size of the flag; it's how hard you wave it.
It's the size of the tube attached to the shop vac, and it's great they were using a wet dry vac too. So anyway, we'd love to have your story suggestions, like Dusty L. Dunn did with this most recent story we just talked about, and you can email us at info@tonyandjosh.com. We'd love to hear your story ideas because it makes us feel special.
That's right. Hey, you can also find us on Facebook, facebook.com/Tony and Josh Show. You can spell that whole thing out. Make sure you friend us there, and make sure you guys are telling a friend. Spread the word on social media about the Tony and Josh Show. We could use a little bit larger of a listener base, and I know there's some friends in your life that you could use a nice assault to their sensibilities, and we got just the thing.
We know you're going to be embarrassed when you recommend us to a friend, but they'll thank you. They'll thank you later. Probably in the next stall. Hey, great, thanks for letting me know about the Tony and Josh Show. I'm listening to it now.
Or through a brick with your windshield.
Phil, you're talking too loud in the bathroom again.
Either way, guys, we appreciate all of you out there who subscribe and download each and every week. Make sure you guys are spreading the word. We will see you again very soon.
I just want to thank Caster Rick again for that review that he gave us. We love getting the reviews, and we look forward to seeing your reviews here really soon. Have a great week. Oh, and don't forget our bonus segment for The Walking Dead coming right up right after this show. It will be a separate download, but get it and listen to it and enjoy.